can buy after a pullback, buy after a pullback, or we can buy at horizontal support, horizontal support. Then you can also buy after the breakout and retest of the resistance, breakout and retest of a resistance, right? So these are 3 reasons to buy and 3 reasons to sell at any, 3 reasons to buy. I've not given us 3 reasons to sell because we are seeing an uptrend. For an uptrend, we carry highs and higher lows. So we need any of these 3 reasons as our final confirmation to enter our buy. Any of these 3 reasons as a final confirmation to enter our buy. All right. So let's go back to the chart of AUD card. All right. So AUD card is in an uptrend right now. Why? Because it has broken the previous lower high. So it's in an uptrend, and we have seen the formation of the higher highs and higher lows. But presently now, AUD card is already in the resistance area. So for us to buy, as part of our reasons to buy, anytime we want to buy and price is already at resistance, all we need to wait for is the break and the retest of the resistance, and then we'll enter a buy. So for AUD card, what we need to see for people who are going to enter, who are looking at for an early entry, once we see a bullish candle break above this resistance, once we see this bullish candle break above this resistance, and those of us using phone, the resistance I'm talking about is this number, 0.88492, the resistance we're talking about. So I'm going to type it out. For those of us who are using phone, might not be able to see this resistance properly. The resistance that we need to see price break, we are using phone. Let me type it out boldly. That is 0.88492. Yes. Once we see a break above this number, break above, then just buy. Once you see a break above this, it's clearly stated here now. So you can put it down for those of us using phone. Yes, sir. Yes. Thank you. All right. So once you see a break above this number, it follows our plan as waiting for a break and retest, or a break above a resistance for the buy to continue. So AUD card is buy, and then AUD JPY is also a buy, right? Lastly, before I move on to the MT5, all right, before I move on then to the MT5, let me check one more chart, all right? This is the chart for AUD CHF. So generally, we can accept the sentiment that AUD is getting stronger. So on AUD CHF, what can we see as well? Should also be able to see higher highs and higher lows. Yes, we can also see the higher highs and higher lows. So I'm going to label that for us quickly so that we understand. This is higher high, and then this is higher low. You see it? This is higher low, and then this is another higher high. This is another higher high. Higher high, yes. And then higher low is here. Now, this higher low was created by that news that came out for AUD this morning. You see this another higher low. So price is also pushing in an uptrend. So since we've seen the end of the pullback, price is already in a weak resistance area. It is weak because price has not changed direction from the majorly minimum of twice. So we can go ahead and enter a buy on AUD CHF, and then as well our stops will be below the previous lower high. So you can see where my stop loss is below the previous lower high. So AUD-CHF is also a buy. Now, on this AUD-CHF as well, you can also apply that same rule on AUD CAD, meaning once you see a break above this weak resistance, you can enter a buy. Essentially, if you're a scalper and you want a more precise entry, just wait for a break above that weak resistance and then you enter a buy. But if you're a day trader or a swing trader, it's a good buy. It's a good buy. You enter your buy, stops below the previous higher low, and then your take profits above. So you can take the three instruments if you have a fat account. That is why it's good to have a big account. The more, the merrier. So somebody's asking me, can I redeposit again? Yes, your deposit don't have to just be once. As you are making money and making bits by bits, you can always add to your deposit so as to be able to do more. The more, the merrier, so that you'll be able to do more. All right. So those three instruments that we've checked on MT4, they are all buy trades. So let's move now to MT5. Let's also check some other instruments as well on MT5. Right. So I'm going to share my MT5 chart. Yes. So this is my MT5 account. And I'm going to start by analyzing USD JPY. Let's start by analyzing USD JPY. All right. So the whole sentiment, the overall sentiment of USD JPY is a buy trade. If you look at it from any time frame you want to look at it from, starting from the monthly to the monthly uptrend, weekly uptrend, daily uptrend, H4 uptrend, H1 uptrend. No matter where you're looking at USD JPY from, it's an uptrend, right? Now, in an uptrend, price should be breaking old resistance and turning them to support. Simple. That's what price will do. And as long as price is not coming below the previous higher low in an uptrend, then price is still in an uptrend. It's as simple as that. So let me mark those previous higher lows. So we can see one here. Just quickly mark them for us. This is an higher low. This is an higher low. This is an higher low. This is another higher low. See, this is another higher low. And we have not seen price violating any of these higher lows. And then now price has created another one here again, higher low again. So price is still clearly in an uptrend. So for this reason, USD JPY is still in an uptrend. And enter your buy for USD JPY. It's a very good chart to scalp on. It's your preferred lot size, right? Enter your buy for USD JPY. Your stops below the previous lower high, and then your TP, you can just use it 1:1 because it is very, very high right now. So 1:1 would be ideal for us to use. So USD JPY is also a buy trade. It's also a buy trade, all right? So let's move on to the next one. Those of us who do commodities, let's check one of these commodities. Sugar. Yeah. So I'm presently on the chart of sugar. And for sugar as well, sugar is a commodity that you can trade with a capital of maybe 100 to 200,000. And conveniently trade sugar. You can conveniently trade sugar, right? So can we see any familiar movement on sugar? Yes, we can see that sugar is pushing upward towards this resistance. If I'm going to identify those places for us as well again, say this is our higher high, as you can see here. Yes, let me change this to black. Yes, this is our higher high. And then we have our higher low here. This is our higher low. See it? And then this is our higher high. We have another higher high here. Simple. So it is definitely an uptrend because it's still pushing up. It's still pushing up. It's definitely an uptrend. All right. I hope you can still hear me. Can we hear me, please? Are we together? Oh, all right. So, Mr. Please, can you please just check your audio since we can hear me clearly from here? All right. So, is this all of sugar is still showing the clear attributes of an uptrend? You see, higher highs, higher lows. As long as it is not breaking previous higher lows. So, one way to know that price might be changing direction is in an uptrend. Once price fails to create a new higher high and break the previous higher low, then it's a sentiment that the trend has changed. I will still explain more better again to us as we go by. So we can see sugar is clearly showing the characteristics of an uptrend. It's still pushing higher highs and higher lows. So it's a buy. Now the sugar market opens for Nigerian time around 9:30 a.m. So in a few hours time, the sugar market will be open. See, so I am going to enter a buy once the market opens around this place, because I believe this would be the higher low. And then my stop is going to be below the previous lower high, where price is not supposed to get to. And my TP is going to be here. Simple. You plan your trade and then you trade your plan. It's a very simple ideology for trade. You only trade scenarios that you recognize and understand. So this is pushing high. So this is where my TP would be. It's where my TP will be. Most of us who trade commodity. Yeah. And my stop be here. SL will be here. Very simple. It's very simple. They will make money today. All right. So let's go on. There's still going to be time for questions. Don't worry. I'm still going to take our questions. And then lastly, let me take one indices. I don't know if my colleague is going to do that. I'm sure she would, but let me just touch on this one and then we'll proceed. I'll then take on requests that we have. So I'm looking at the chart of DE30 right now. I'm looking at the chart of DE30. So I can also see a clear uptrend, Things that tend to continue than the reverse. So if price is moving in an uptrend, we're going to see a temporary downtrend, a consolidation, however, but as long as it's not breaking any rules of an uptrend, then it is still an uptrend, all right? Thank you, Mr. Daniel Akman. Appreciate you, sir. All right. So let's also follow the rule for DE30. So you see, if we look at it properly, still pushing in an uptrend. Why? Because this is higher lows. All right. So I hope you can hear me now. So this is higher low. Just understand, once you understand the market structure, what the market is doing, just follow the rule and then you'll be fine. It's as simple as that. Don't worry, sir. I'm going to take questions very soon. Yes. Somebody's asking, what does D30 stand for? Is the German index. I'm going to take questions very soon. And then this is lower, higher, low. This is higher, high. You see it's higher, high. This is higher, high. This is higher, low. Yeah. And then this higher low has gone to produce a new higher high. This is a new higher high. Higher high. You see it? And then this price, we expect it to create a new higher low. Now, remember, let us also remember what we said about an uptrend. In an uptrend, price will be breaking former resistance and changing them to support. You can see this place that I marked. It was formerly a resistance. Price was formerly a resistance here. We can see that price fell from here at a particular point in time. Let me label that. See, price fell from here. This was resistance. Price fell from here again, arrow down. Yeah. So this was also a resistance. These 2 points were resistance before. And now price broke that resistance here. And then our rule to buy is, or one of our rules to buy, if we can see, according to we put here. One of our rules to buy is that anytime you want to buy, you need to wait for the breakout and retest of a resistance after the breakout and retest of a resistance. So if we look at the chart for DE30, you can see that price has broken out of this resistance. So it means that this is the pullback or retest, as the case may be. This is the retest of that broken resistance. Let me label it retest. So we expect price to retest and then would buy. So all of these areas that we can see now, they are all buy areas. All of these areas are buy areas. They are all buy areas. So if you have a good account, you can begin to scale it gradually. You can begin to scale it. What I mean is you can begin to enter your buys gradually from this position, right? But if your account is small, you might want price to fall properly down to this area. I want price to fall exactly to this broken resistance area before you enter your buy. But if you have a fat account, the more the merrier, like I said, can begin to scale in gradually. So I'm going to use a lot to enter my first buy. See, my TP will be here. TP will just be above here. And then my stops will be under. And then I expect price to come back to this. If price comes back to this exact broken resistance area, I'm also going to put a buy limit there. I'm also going to put a buy limit there so that we can pick us again for another buy, right? Need to consider my risk. So let me I'm scaling into this buy because price is fulfilling all of the requirements of an uptrend. So I'm going to use another lot size to set a buy limit at this broken resistance now turned support. So this is how I will be approaching the DE30. It's a buy trade, showing all of the signs for a buy trade. All right. So we've done 6 instruments so far. We've done 6 instruments so far. Okay. So it's now time for me to take questions or personal requests, and then we'll move on. So let me start by taking questions. All right. Oh, okay. Alimat Nofi, thank you very much for answering some of these questions. Okay, somebody asked that what does these, okay, she has answered that as well. Thank you. Sir, how do you know a higher high and higher low, and lower high and lower low, sir? If you can, sir, please just try and attend any of our trainings in any of our facilities so that you can get deeper understanding of it. Yes, we expect our clients to have an understanding of that before you then, so that you can have proper knowledge of it. Please just find time, Mr. Izuchukwu Chibundo. Please just find time and attend any of our trainings in any of our facilities to get understanding. But a quick answer to that is that how to know price is creating higher highs. Just remember your staircase or staircase. Any staircase that's going to move you up would look exactly like this. The staircase. When you're moving on the staircase upward, that is a clear example of higher highs and higher lows. And then when you're coming down the staircase, that is a clear example of lower highs and lower lows. So in order to have a precise entry, you're supposed to buy at the higher low. The higher low is where the pullback ends. The creation of a pullback signifies the continuation of a potential uptrend, but the creation of a new higher high strongly suggests that the uptrend is still in continuation. What I mean is that if price is going up and it does this is a pullback, this guy here is not supposed to return below where it started from. That is why it's called a higher high. And then once this is formed and price tends to go up, this is putting the probability that it's an uptrend. But once price goes above the new higher high, once price breaks the higher high, that signals a very strong uptrend. Get it? It's also the same way too for the downtrend. Okay. So let me take any other question again, and then I'll take personal. Can I trade DE30 with a 100K account? Yes, you can. If you are trading DE30 low, you can. But to be more convenient, trading DE30, to be more relaxed, you can just top up your account and then you'll be fine. Because I'm sure you might also want to be trading other instruments on the side as you are trading DE30. You can just top up your account with 200, 300, 400, 500,000. You're fine. The more, the merrier. So you can do that, sir. Right? Is there any other question? Somebody, they already asked. I can see 3 different clients asking for analysis on gold. I'm going to do that now. Any other question again? Okay. All right. So let's go on. So let me take gold now. Let me take the chart of gold. I've not given us the 3 reasons to sell. Okay. So that we don't forget that. Let me quickly give us 3 reasons to sell. Then we'll move on to the chart of gold. Essentially, it is just the same reasons that we have for buys that we also use for a sell trade. It's that simple. So for a sell, you will sell after a pullback. If I can just edit this. We sell after a pullback. You sell after at an horizontal resistance, and then you sell after the breakout and retest of a support. Simple. Just flip all of these 3 reasons for buy, flip them around, and then you get for sell. So let's check the chart of gold. Let's check the chart of gold. Okay, let me open the chart for gold. I believe you can see my screen, please. Okay, somebody asked that in an uptrend on H1, how does someone know that higher low has ended? That's a very good question. Please listen to me very, very well, and then you understand it. I'm going to explain exactly how to know that a pullback has ended, a higher low has ended, and then you will get it. Mr. Emmanuel Kayode, please listen to me, and every other person should please pay attention to the things I'm about to say. This is probably the important thing I'm going to say today. How to know that a pullback has ended. Now, essentially, if we look at the chart, judging from past experience or past moves in the market, price does not have an exact place where the pullback ends. What I mean is that if every time price has just one place where its pullback ends, then it will be very easy to know all the time that pullback has ended. So for example, some instruments might go up and pull back to area like this and go up. And it's also possible that price moves up, pull back to this level, goes up again. Can we please mute our mics, please? And then it's also possible that pullback will go up, do a very back, go up again. Please, let's mute our mic, please. And then it's also possible that price will go up, consolidate, and then continue to go up again. Now, so there is not exactly a kind of scenario, just one, that price will show that will tell us that pullback has ended. But you must have your own scenario that you would see that will tell you that pullback has ended for you. So the rules for knowing that pullback has ended is subjective. It is subjective to the trader. Which scenario would you trade? Out of all of the possible ways pullback can end, you must have the one that you trade. So I have an ideology, or what is it called? Or a kind of rule that I follow for trading. I'll tell you about it now. So what I do is that, essentially, is that I plan my trade, and then I trade my plan. I trade my plan. It's very simple. For me, pullbacks, for me to understand that pullback has ended, how I do it is that once price is going up and it's pulling back, once it starts to pull back, I don't enter a trade that the pullback does not get to minimum 50% of the previous move. So if the pullback gets to maybe a very small percentage like this and it continues to go up, I would not be entering price at that higher low. So in addition to these 3 reasons to enter a buy, there are always 2 ways you can enter an uptrend. I hope we are listening. This is so important. This is by far the most important thing we're going to hear today. So if price is going up in an uptrend, just like this, you can decide to enter your buy at the end of this pullback. And I said, for me, I always wait for pullback to get to the previous 50% of the previous move, 50% of the previous move. That's for me. Now, when price gets 50% of the previous move, I would enter my buy immediately. And at that same time, I expect price to go above the previous higher high for my buy to continue. So it's either I enter a buy at 50% or I just put a buy stop above the previous higher high. Simple. Those are the 2 ways to enter or to know that price has ended the pullback according to my own template, to my own playbook rather. It's either I buy at 50% or I put a buy stop above the previous higher high so that price can pick me up from there. So if price is doing 23% or whatever, I'm not entering a buy. I always like price to pull back very deep to 50% and then I'll buy. My stop would be below the previous higher low. And that's how I'll continue my buy. So the same way, you can then use the same way to trade a downtrend. Same way to trade to a downtrend. Somebody is also asking that, how do you know that trend is changing from uptrend to downtrend? Very simple. The rules for it is that, Mr. Dewali, how to know that price is changing from an uptrend to a downtrend? From an uptrend to a downtrend. Number 1, price must fail to create a new higher high. And number 2, price must break the previous higher low. Very, very simple. So if price is pushing up like this, higher highs and higher lows, how to know that the price is changing is that, number 1, price must fail to create a new higher high. At this level now, price has failed to create a new higher high, and price must break the previous higher low. Very simple. Those are my 2 criteria. If I need an extra confirmation, I just need price to create a lower high, and then I'll start to sell. How do you know that price is changing from downtrend to uptrend? Also very, very simple. Number 1 is that price must fail to create a new lower low. As price is going down, price must fail to create a new lower low, and then price must break the previous lower high. Very simple. And that's how I know that the trend has changed. All right. So let's quickly look at the chart of gold. To get deeper understanding of these things, please just try and attend our physical training and physical classes, and then we'll be fine. So for gold, there are 3 ways to trade gold: scalper, day trader, and swing trader. All right. So if we look at the chart of gold, clearly this is a clear sign of an uptrend. You see it? It's a clear sign of an uptrend. This is higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. So if you're entering a buy now, your buy is not so late, just that your TP is going to be here at this resistance, below this resistance. This is where your TP would be. It's as simple as that. The TP will just be below this resistance. Yes, your TP would just be below this resistance. And then your stop would have to be below this, what is it called? Higher low. Higher low. So this is how, if you're a scalper or a day trader, for gold, it's a buy trade because it's an uptrend. So price should continue to create higher highs and higher low. But once it gets to this resistance, you will need to exit your buy. Before you will buy again, you will need to wait for the break of this resistance or breakout and retest of this resistance. It's as simple as that, since we don't have any news for USD for today. So if I buy now for gold, if I buy now, my stop loss will just be below the previous higher low, and then my TP will be at this resistance. For me to buy again, I need to wait for the breakout and retest of this resistance. Then I will buy again for gold, simple. And then I'll target a higher target for my TP. You can see when price was pushing down on this instrument, this was the lower low, see, lower low, and then this was the lower high, see it, lower high, lower high, and then here, price created a new lower low, see, lower low, and then this is lower high, this is lower high. So what did I say is the rule, one of the rules for knowing that the trend has changed? Price must fail to create a new lower low. Price has to fail to create a new lower low. So if we look at this scenario here, research shapes rectangle, this lower low here, price failed to create a new lower low. That's number one. And then number two, price has to go above the previous lower high. This was the last lower high. Immediately price goes above the previous lower high. Then the trend has changed from a downtrend to an uptrend. It's also the same way. It's the same for all of those instruments we've looked at. If we look at them all over again, it's the same for all of them. Look at for AUD card, as we can see. Look at downtrend. Where is the last lower high? What was the last lower low, rather? This is the last lower low, LL. And then this is the last lower high, LH. LH. How do I know that price has changed to an uptrend? Price has to fail to create a new lower low. Price has to fail to create a new lower low. As we can see here, this is where price failed to create a new lower low. And then price has to break the last lower high, which is what price did here. Price broke the last lower high here. And the uptrend has started. It's as simple as that, right? So for gold, we'll be entering a buy as a scalper and as a day trader below that resistance. And then if you want to swing trade, you need to wait for the break or breakout and retest of this resistance. Let's also understand that things tend to continue than the reverse. Things tend to continue than the reverse. So you should always learn how to trade in line with the trend, not majorly against the trend. Trade in line with the trend. You can also make money from trading against the trend, but you have to be skillful to do that, right? So any other instrument you want us to look at, and then we'll continue.
Oil.
Is gold pulling back? I don't think it's pulling back. It's not pulling back. It is going to create a new higher high. Not showing any sign of pullbacks. All right. Do we have any other question again?
Please, where can we enter the pending order for gold? Please.
For gold, it's two ways. Yes, you can enter the pending order for gold in two places here. Number one is either you put a buy limit here. It's either you put a buy limit at this previous higher low. I believe you can see my screen, sir. You can put a buy limit at this higher low, or you can put a buy stop above this resistance. You can put a buy limit at this higher low, or a buy stop above this resistance.
Please, can you type it? We are using phone.
We are using phone, all right. So I'm going to type it out now.
Please, can you review Euro USD for us?
How
I came in late.
All right, let's mute our mic, please. Let me quickly type the places where we can put pending orders for gold.
Hello, sir. Can you please do oil? Oil, sir.
We'll get to that if there's time. Let me quickly finish this gold. All right. So for gold, for buy stop for gold, 1935.78 buy stop for gold.
1935.78.
Yes, and then buy limits for gold as well. Buy limits for gold will be around 1922.77. Those are the two places. Oh, sorry. I should include buy limits. Buy limits. Yes. So these are the two places where you can put pending orders for gold. So let me move to the chart of Euro USD. Can we please mute our mic if I'm not asking a question?
1923.77.
Euro USD. Let's quickly analyze. We'll be wrapping up in the next few minutes. You can please mute our mic if we're not. All right. So Euro USD.
Sir, you can mute everybody's mic. You are the admin. You can mute everybody's mic.
I've done that already. All right. So Euro USD for trades. All right. Thank you, sir. So let's start from the higher time frame analysis on Euro USD. So Euro USD has pushed up, and right now it is just consolidating. Euro USD is just consolidating. There's nothing more that it's doing. So there are two types of consolidation. Remember those market structure I told us about? Trend, consolidation, or reversal. These three market conditions. So Euro USD, as we speak right now, is not trending. It's ranging. It's in a range. Now, the formula to trade a range market, because there are two types of consolidation markets, the formulas to trade them are different. If the consolidation is very wide, you trade inside the box, a sell limit or a buy limit. If the consolidation is very wide, you trade inside the box, sell limit, buy limit. But if the consolidation is very small, you don't trade inside the box, you use buy stop, sell stop. So for Euro USD, I'm seeing a clear consolidation. All you need to do is not trending, it's consolidating. Sell high or buy low. It's as simple as that. Right? And then somebody else is asking for oil, right? So let's quickly check the chart for oil. In chart for oil. So essentially, oil, WTI and oils, Brent oil, have similar movements, same way. So we also need to know the inventory when they are going to release their next inventory, fundamentally. But technically, on the higher time frame, swing traders, oil is consolidating. So because it is consolidating on D1, it's a wide consolidation. It means it will be trending on the lower time frame. So on H4 now, we can see an uptrend, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. You see it? And then on H1, as three reasons to enter a buy. Since we are seeing an uptrend from the H4, out of our three reasons to enter a buy, it's either we buy, pull back, buy at horizontal support, or buy after the breakout and retest of a resistance. And then if we check these three reasons, one is already playing out here. So buy at horizontal support. So oil is just leaving an horizontal support as we can see here. So my reason to buy is very valid here. And I already see an horizontal support. So I will buy now, and then I'll put my stop. I will buy now, and then I'll put my stop below my horizontal support and my TP above 1:1. Very simple. So oil is a buy trade. Just following that simple rules. All right.
Please help us review Euro AUD. Euro AUD.
All right. So so Euro AUD, then we'll call it a day. Euro AUD, and then we'll call it again. I believe we are making money already on some of those instruments. Just put your stops below, and then we're good to go. Okay, let me open the chart for Euro AUD. Euro AUD. Okay. So let's start again. Euro AUD, let's start from the higher time frame. Let's start from the higher time frame. All right. So Euro AUD on the higher time frame, it is operating on a major downtrend. It's in a major downtrend. Yes, I can see it's in a major downtrend. Now, this kind of this is actually bonus for those of us who are attending today's MMR. Now, let me explain something to us. You know, I said that don't trade pullbacks. Yes, that rule is true. Now, anytime you see on the chart that price just move up, the higher high is very, very, very long. Anytime the higher high is very, very long like this, we also expect the higher low to also be very, very deep. Now, if price is doing this higher low on the major time frame, on the lower time frame, this higher low that price is creating is going to be seen as a clear downtrend. That's how it just works. So if you look at the chart of Euro AUD, we'll see that that thing is playing out here. This very long higher low is going to create another very, very deep. I see this is the previous lower high rather, and then price has failed, did not go above it. So we expect this to also be very, very deep. We expect this to also be very, very deep. Now, if that is going to be true, by the time we scale down to the lower time frame, we should now see the build-up of a downtrend. We should see the build-up of a downtrend. And how do I know that price is already in a downtrend? Very simple, as we said, price has to fail to create a new higher high. This is where price failed to create a new higher high. Insert shapes, rectangle. Price failed to create a new higher high here. And then price has broken the previous higher low here. Very simple. So we are now in a downtrend. We are now in a downtrend. Now for this downtrend to still continue, we also expect price to be creating lower lows and lower highs, lower lows and lower highs. So you see this week support where prices, ideally, we're supposed to wait for this. So on Euro AUD, before I'm going to sell, so that my entry will be very, very precise, I am going to wait for price. According to my playbook, I'm going to wait for price to create a lower low. The last signal to sell is late now. So we expect price to create a lower low, one, and then price will give me a lower high, a pullback, and then I will sell. I will sell this instrument. Sorry. I need price to first create a lower low. I will not sell now. I want price to create a lower low and then also a lower high. Then I will sell. This is where I will sell. Like I said, you plan your trade and then you trade your plan. Plan your trade and then you trade. Very, very simple. Yes, I will sell. So this is how I'm approaching the Euro AUD. And immediately I see that price has failed to create a lower low. Just immediately I see that price has failed to create a lower low and it has gone above the previous lower high, then my sentiment has changed immediately. All right. So that's all we'll be taking today. Mr. Chris, we've already reviewed USD, what is it called? USD JPY. So are you using a demo account? Yes, I'm using a demo account on MT4, but on my MT5, I'm using a live account. Issuers. So I believe those of us who took this is where my live account is on my MT5. I'm sharing my account with us here. Those of us who took the DE30 and USD JPY, we should already be in profit by now. And the rest of us will just have to, we'll soon be in profit as well. The AUDs, yes. So we've done almost all, right? So that's all we can take for today. Can I also trade on MT5? Yes, you can, sir. You just need to talk to your account manager if you want an MT5 account, and then you'll be able to trade, right? So that's all we'll be doing for today. If you want to, I would strongly suggest that everyone who is asking for how to know higher low has ended, low has, please go back and rewatch this money market review on our YouTube channel. Alimat Muji has helped us to paste it on the chat. Please go back and watch it so that you can learn again, all over again. All right. Thank you very much for spending this the previous 1 hour with me. I appreciate you very well. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. My name is Jeremiah once again, and then we're going to see again some other time. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.